I'm with Reuters Breakingviews editor Hugo Dixon. We're in the back of a black cab, so he can't escape. What we're going to do is one loop of the North and South Colonnade here at Canary Wharf, in which time he can try and sell us his latest column, Hollande's Sins, Hugo, more those of omission. You're saying his bark is bigger than his bite.
That's right, but I'm also saying that what investors have to worry about is less what he's saying and more what he's not saying. But perhaps the best way to start off is to explain why I think, as you say, his bark is worse than his bite.
And this is based on these three promises, if you like, or these 3 points he's made on pensions, on taxing the rich, and on the fiscal treaty.
Yeah, and also on his war against bankers. Really, 4 things.
Okay, 4 things, right? Okay.
He said he's going to cut the pension age to 60. He's going to tax the super rich at 75%. That he's going to renegotiate the fiscal compact, and that he's going to launch the war on bankers. And all of these, I think that when you actually look at them in the round, I spent a few days in Paris last month, talking to people around Hollande, and the actual detail is going to be far less worrying than the headlines.
All right, so we're about halfway around the colonnade, by the way, Hugo. So, all right, the fiscal treaty. Now, I don't know if you saw this piece in the Spiegel over the weekend. Merkel didn't want to meet with him. Of course, he wants to meet with Merkel. In fact, he said the first thing he's going to do is go and meet with Merkel if he gets it.
Right.
What's he going to say about the fiscal treaty?
I think what he's going to say is we've got to have a growth pillar to this treaty. So I don't think he's going to try and renegotiate the detail of the fiscal compact, which is how much you're allowed to, how you've got to eliminate these structural deficits. What he's going to say is on top of that, we've got to have measures to promote growth. Yeah. And so it's going to be less one of renegotiating the treaty and more of completing it. Okay. And there is a precedent for this. So it's completion. You're lucky, by the way. We stopped at a red light. We've got you've got a bit of time to convince us this war on bankers. I mean, you talk about the Volcker rule. You talk about Vickers as well. Why should they not worry about Hollande and what he says about the bankers? The bankers. Well, the bankers are a bit worried, but it's also got to be seen in the context. You've already got Basel III, and you've already got the fact that their investment banking businesses are shrinking. The worst thing that could happen for them would be a Vickers rule, which is separation of retail and investment banking. But when you talk to the Hollande camp, and they're making it clear that they much prefer Volcker to Vickers. Volcker is saying that certain proprietary activities you can't do. And we've only got to see what's happened in America. I mean, they spent months arguing about it. It'll be diluted.
We're in the home stretch. Maybe more we can say for Hollande right now. Sarko was speaking over the weekend. By all accounts, it was pretty impressive. Is Hollande going to get in?
I think Hollande is going to get in. But I think, as I said before, what we've got to be worried about is not so much what he said, but what he hasn't said. He hasn't said anything about reforming the welfare state. He hasn't said anything about bringing down that extraordinary amount of expenditure. It's about 57% of GDP, that they spend about 11 points more than in Germany. And he hasn't said anything about labour reform, and they're going to need to do that. And so there's either going to have to be a crisis in France, or France will lose another 5 years.
All right, Hugo. Many thanks for your time with us in the Black Cab today.